So, I popped into High House Insurance to see if they could quote for my house insurance rather than using the internet. High House got a great deal. So, to celebrate, I bought a posh hairdo. It made me look beautiful, gorgeous enough to become a highly paid model. I then won Celebrity Big Brother. I had an affair with an MP. Now I'm promoting a doll of me that says, "Cool, blimey, you're well fit."
Happy things happen when you talk face-to-face with High House Insurance. See if we can beat your home insurance quote from the internet. Find us on the High Street, Selsey, or call 606 552.
Hi, and welcome back after the Christmas and New Year celebrations to Selsey Internet Radio. My name's Keith Barnes, and we've got a varied programme for you this week, which includes the second part of the story from Tony Dann, some backstage news from the pantomime, a recipe, of course, from Lyn, and a poem read by Angela Goodman. So firstly, we go over to Tony Dann. Now, Tony, back to where we left off. Having
moved on from the fire service, you've done a number of things since then, I do know. What was your next hat after the fire service?
Well, after the fire service, unfortunately my wife became ill. I spent quite a number of years looking after her. Then I had quite a serious health problems, or few health problems, which took a while. Still not totally over them, never likely to be. But I keep waking up every morning, putting one foot forward and pushing onwards. I won't give in. I took an interest, when my wife died, I took an interest in the Chichester Ship Canal, and I went up there, and I've been up there, for the last 7.5 years. I'm now the training manager up there, teaching people to drive the boats, etc. And I thoroughly enjoy it. In fact, it's a wonderful place to be.
I have to say, there was a time when they were talking about, just after I moved down there, when they were talking about running the boat service, almost like a bus service in the mornings for people to get to work. And I couldn't think of a better way of getting to work anywhere in the world than sitting on a boat on the canal, being taken from the car park up into Chichester and get off at Chichester and go to the office and then get on the boat and come back in here. It just struck me as being absolutely idyllic.
Yes, it was discussed, but the main problem with that is, you've got to remember, is that we're all volunteers, and we have quite a job sometimes to get people to cover the boat trips, the scheduled boat trips. To get somebody up there sort of 6 o'clock in the morning, it takes about an hour and a half to get the boats prepared, make sure they are safe, because we are passenger carrying boat, not a private boat. There's quite a procedure to go through before we can allow any passengers on the boat. The other problem with it as well was all the people leaving Selsey to go to Chichester to work, where would they park their cars? At Huntston?
Yeah, that was always going to be a difference.
Yeah, there's
very limited parking spaces.
Yeah, there's only a little tiny parking, car park up there. It would mean taking on one of the fields, and I can't see the farmers letting you use the fields.
No.
And again, as I say, because we're all volunteers, you wouldn't get the service. We just couldn't provide the service.
Yeah, no, it was a shame, but it struck me as being a wonderful idea at the time, without thinking about the practicalities of it, of parking especially. But the thought of turning up on what can be a busy road, but not very often jammed up, and then parking your car and getting on a boat with your newspaper and sitting there for half an hour or whatever it takes, with you reading your newspaper, and get off the other end, go to the office. If anybody turned up at the office stressed, there'd be something wrong with them.
It would be an ideal situation. It would be really relaxing, set you up for the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely wonderful.
And I believe also in your life you've been a Selsey councillor.
Yes, I spent a little while on the council. It's a thing that when I took over as officer in charge of the fire station, I was approached by the clerk of the council then, Fred Robinson, asking me if I would consider being co-opted onto the council. Because in those days, the planning applications didn't include fire precautions and things such as this, as intense as they do now, some of the things. But under the rules, I wasn't allowed to do it, because the Home Office stipulate that if you're in charge of a fire station or any public service at that time, you could not join local councils. As time went by, I did apply, and I sort of got onto the council. I was there for 18 months, 2 years possibly. Unfortunately, I had a cancer scare, and I had to come away from it.
That's a shame.
Getting settled in. I was the only Selsey person on the council. I think I've got quite a lot of information about Selsey, which would have helped eventually.
I know from chatting to you when you used to come and visit my next door neighbour. Bless her. At the times, we spent a few minutes out there chatting. That your knowledge of Selsey and what went on around it, especially the history of it, was second to none. So
my memory goes back to when I was 2 years old. I was born in Grafton Road, number 4 Grafton Road. My memory goes back to 2 years old. I'm in the process, since my wife died, I taught myself to use a computer. I'm in the process, very slowly, writing a book, My Life and Times in Selsey. And it's going to mention, a lot of people will remember Honest Bill the fisherman. Well, his father and his uncle and his mother, I lived next door to them, and I spent my early years with them. And it's the same with all the old fishing families, the Lawrences and the Barneses. I was brought up with their fathers and their their grandfathers, and I've got a lot of knowledge about them, and I've got a lot of knowledge about other characters of the village that don't get mentioned in other books. So I've decided to do it. At the moment, I'm at the age of 15 in my book writing. When I get to 21, I look into the possibilities of having it published with the life change.
Are you going to write it up to date?
Yeah,
it might take a time.
Yeah. Well, it'll never finish, will it? Because, the day, it'll never finish because I shall put the clogs in. It will still be in flow.
Let's hope you get it finished to 21 before you do that.
And I look forward to the final part of our chat, probably next week, I would think, Tony. So see you then. Bye. We go across now to Angela Goodman, who's going to read us a rather seasonal poem, which will apply, no doubt, to loads of our lady friends. Only cowardice prevents me from saying so. Angela, over to you.
'Twas the month after Christmas, and all through the house nothing would fit me, not even a blouse. The cookies I'd nibbled, the eggnog I'd taste, all the holiday parties had gone to my waist. When I got on the scales there arose such a number. When I walked to the shop, less a walk than a lumber. I'd remember the marvellous meals I'd prepared, the sauces, the gravies and beef nicely reared, the wine and the rum balls, the bread and the cheese, and the way I'd never say, "No, thank you, please." As I dressed myself in my husband's old shirt, and prepared once again to do battle with dirt, I said to myself, as only I can, "You can't spend a winter disguised as a man." So, away with the last of the sour cream dip, get rid of the fruit cake, every cracker and chip. Every last bit of food that I like must be banished, till all the additional ounces have vanished. I won't have a biscuit, not even a lick. I'll want only to chew on a long celery stick. I won't have biscuits, bread or pie. I'll munch on a carrot and quietly cry. I'm hungry and lonesome, and life is a bore, but isn't that what January is for? Unable to giggle, no longer a riot. Happy New Year to you all, and all a good diet.
Well, thank you for that, Angela. I'm sure it would apply to all of us, not just the ladies, that we put on a few pounds over Christmas and we really need to get it off now. So it's back down the gym. On Tuesday evening, I was lucky enough to be allowed backstage at the Panto in the village and just managed to grab a few words before curtain up with a few of the people involved. Now, young Abby Robinson, who's been in the Pantos for the past 6 or 7 years, I believe, to Les Hilton, a well-known figure, especially as the Dame, and of course Sue Graves, who produced the show and produces other shows in and around the village, not least of which was last year's wonderful performance for Sakos of Calamity Jane. So let's go and have a chat with the people now, just before curtain up. Right, Abby.
Hiya.
How many times have you been in the village pantomime?
I've taken lead role for the past 4 years. Before that, I think I was in it for 3 or 4 years, so around...
So from a very tender age?
Yeah, I was about 9, 10.
And still enjoy it as much as you used to?
Oh yeah, it's given me that oomph to, because I do it at college and everything now, so...
Okay, brilliant, yeah.
Love it.
Right, so everybody's having a good time?
Yeah, everyone's loving it. It's a good
Have the other
cast.
houses been good? Because this is the final one tonight, obviously.
Yeah, we've had some really great audiences. They've really seemed to enjoy everything, so...
Great stuff.
Seems to be good.
Well, good luck for this evening.
Thank you.
Right, I'm talking now to Mama Baba, or Les Hilton, as he's known. In a state of some undress, I hasten to add. Les, can I just interrupt you while you're getting changed here? How many times have you been in the pantomime?
I've done panto 3 times now, just 3 times.
And you enjoying it now as much?
Oh,
or
yeah.
are you enjoying it more now that you actually know the ropes, as it were?
Yeah, no, I'm loving it now. It's first year I did was Aladdin, which was about 4 years ago. And I was just part of the sort of chorus, and that was just learning the ropes. And then for the last 2 years I've played the game, so which is right up my street.
Which I have to say is a part that you seem to enjoy perhaps too readily.
Yes.
Whether it's to do with the ladies' clothes or not, I'm not sure. But I have to say, I saw last year's and it was great. You played the part very well, and I'm sure you will be this year. Good luck for this evening, and we'll see you later.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to now sneak round and see if I can have a few words with Sue Graves. I'm talking now to Sue, who's responsible for the production of this and other productions in and around the village. How many times have you put on the panto, Sue?
I think this is our 10th year of a pantomime at the Town Hall. Yes, we actually started when the Town Hall actually had a proscenium stage before they pulled it out. So we started off, as I said, when it was slightly different to the way it is now. So now we act with a stage that we have to put up, and we thoroughly enjoy it. It just goes so well.
Well, everybody I've bumped into, everybody I've spoken to, they all seem to be having a whale of a time, and that's the people that are taking part. That's not even the audience. So.
We've had incredible audiences all this week.
Have
They've
you really?
been
Great.
really responsive. We just love doing it. And
I think it shows when you see how people are wandering around backstage here, seeing people getting ready.
Yes,
and
we're
it
here
comes
because
across that
we
they
want
really...
to be here. It's not a chore, it's an absolute love. And as I said, we've had a fantastic time this week, and we're really sorry it's our last performance, which is just about to happen. So,
Well, I wish you well with the last one.
well, we'll be doing Cinderella next year, so you can tell your audience that.
We will indeed. And is there any further up-and-coming productions that you've got lined up?
Yes,
this
actually,
year?
not Cloud Nine, but I will be directing South Pacific for Sakos.
Ah.
So literally next Monday, I will be starting on the rehearsals for that.
Next Monday. Start rehearsal for a show that takes place in April.
Yes,
That might just give people some idea of the work that's involved, although I know from experience it won't give them really the slightest insight into the amount of work that's involved.
No, so a very different production, but a lovely, lovely show, South Pacific. So looking forward to starting on that next week. So once we've cleared out of the hall here tomorrow.
I have to say, if it's anything like last year's show, which I saw 6 times in total.
My goodness.
It has nothing to do with me being sad or having my eye on the leading lady. It was the fact that I was actually doing front of house and was able to watch it, but thoroughly enjoyed it. So if it's anything like that, it'll be worth every penny of the ticket money.
Well, we'd just like to thank all your audiences for supporting us this week, because they've been absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much.
Well, that's brilliant. So I'll leave you to get about your business now. Maybe I'll talk to you later. Good luck. Bye-bye. And we're going to play you a clip from the show now, just to give you a flavour of how things were, for those of you that were unfortunate enough not to be able to attend.
Sandbags, windbags, camels along. Snappy girl, thin girl, summer little slug. Slave girl, salt hair, dirty bob along to the old bazaar in Cairo. Brandy, shandy, beer without a crop. Braces, laces, a camel for the mob. Benji will smash from that old loincloth in the old bazaar in Cairo. And buy most anything. Back out a little bit of can purchase anything you wish. A lot, a dish, something for your auntie any hair. Scare what you think of that. Baby screeches dancing on the mat. Oompa, oompa, in the old bazaar in Cairo. Come down, everything's fine. Genuine, genuine, carpet and wine. Funny little ornaments, working down the night in the old bazaar in Cairo. Right good, very good, what it's all about. Made it in a kettle and they couldn't get it out. Everybody took a turn, started to spout in the old bazaar in Cairo. And buy most anything. Back out the road without a swing. And buy a pomegranate too. Although the bag a little bit of cookie and crack on the track for one is straight to bed. Dark your snag, your something to get on. The rest of it is funny, so the center right there. In the old bazaar in Cairo.
And for those of you that think that wasn't from the show, oh yes it was. Now, for those of you that think poor Lyn Reeve must have been rushed off her feet over Christmas, cooking Christmas dinner and everything else, well, let me let you into a little secret. I spied Lyn having Christmas Day lunch out, and I hope she enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed mine. She's come back now to give us a nice simple recipe so we don't have to suffer too much cooking for a little while after Christmas. Lyn, what have you got for us this morning?
Well, I reckon that after all the Christmas fare, we all want something plain and simple, so I'm going to do a nice bacon and beef stew today. Bacon and bean stew, bacon and bean stew. And it's, nice. Yeah, it's just nice, simple, plain food, and we can all just tuck in with a nice bit of crusty bread.
No turkey.
And, no turkey, no. I spent last year doing loads of after Christmas turkey recipes, and they're coming out of my ears. Yeah. We don't need turkey now, do we? So nice bacon and bean stew.
Lovely.
2 tablespoons of olive oil. Why do my recipes always start with olive oil?
Don't buy the cheap stuff.
Don't buy the cheap stuff. 1 red onion, 1 garlic clove. We want 1 kilogram of butternut squash, and you need that peeled and cubed, all right? 400-gram tin of tomatoes. 300 mils of ham or vegetable stock. Again, you can get that in the supermarkets. 6 to 8 soft sun-dried tomatoes, all nicely chopped up. You want 4 lean bacon chops as opposed to rashers, because you need quite a thick. You want a cube of meat in this. 225 grams of sweet corn and 225 grams of peas, both of which can be frozen, so you can take them straight out of the freezer, no wastage here. Okay. 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley. So simply fry your onions, garlic and squash for 5 minutes until they're softened. Stir in your tomatoes and your stock and your sun-dried tomatoes and cook it up for about 10 minutes further. All right? Simmer it. Preheat your grill to a medium heat and grill off your bacon chops until they're nice and crisp. All right?
Lovely.
Yeah.
That's how I like bacon.
Add your sweet corn and beans and bring back to the boil and cook for 5 minutes and season it up. And then you're going to lay your bacon over the top of the vegetable stew and sprinkle it with parsley. And it really is as simple as that. It's a very quick and easy bacon and bean stew.
Wonderful.
All right? It's so easy to do. If you've got any of this left over, you can blend it down and make a nice soup, in which case you just sprinkle a bit of cheese over the top. And it will freeze as well, this one.
All right.
So you can keep it for up to a month in the freezer. So if you make too much, you know, how often do you make too much and it sits in the fridge for a day and then you throw it out?
Yeah,
this one you can freeze it down and puree it, make it into a nice little soup for another day.
Another cold winter's day.
Another cold winter's day. Serve it up with a nice crusty bit of bread and butter. Butter. Let's be naughty. Yeah. Nice crusty bit of bread and butter.
Don't buy the cheap stuff.
Don't buy the cheap stuff, no. And that's your recipe for after Christmas.
Well, that's wonderful, Lyn.
All right.
And that will certainly make a change for all that turkey.
It certainly will.
That's brilliant.
Take
Thanks,
care,
Lyn, and we'll
Bye-bye.
see you again next time.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye now. Bye. Well, sadly, that's it for this week. I'd like to say a great big thank you to our sponsors, of course, and to Lyn Reeve, Angela Goodman, Tony Dann, and of course the cast and crew of the Alibaba Pantomime. And in the words of the immortal Jimmy Young, TTFN, ta-ta for now.